So, hi everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight for the Perimenopause and Menopause Q&A second session. If you missed last week's one and would like a replay of it, please let us know in the comments by adding your email address so we can send that through to you. Alternatively, you can ask the person who invited you tonight and they can send it through to you too. So my name is Michelle Bailing and I'm a mother of a 23-year-old young woman. I am an entrepreneur and an advocate for natural alternatives for health and longevity. Tonight, we'll be covering off another 4 of the top questions on this subject. So here we go. As you can see, this is me, this is Margie, and she is my co-host this evening. She is also my business partner, and we've been working together for roughly a year, just over a year now. Margie is lymphatic drainage specialist therapist, and she loves Tai Chi and Qigong. She's an instructor and an activation health warrior. Her motto is take charge of your health naturally. Welcome, Margie.
Thanks, Michelle. It's my absolute pleasure working with you these last, it feels like 5 minutes, and yet it feels like I've known you forever.
Exactly.
So anyone who joins your team, they are very lucky to have you as their mentor. I've been with Life on for 6.5 years now. It has been an amazing journey, and I was brought into this business because I was bitten by a tick and I became very ill. And someone nagged and nagged and nagged me, said, you must take this, you must take this. And I think I was a little depressed, and I sort of said, no, I'm not interested. I just want to get well. But I want to say to you, please do not be like me. I'd love you to have an open mind and an open heart to hear something different, because when I was in that spot, I was closed. And I took eventually Protandim, NRF2, the little yellow pill. I took it in bad grace. I took it because she told me I had to take it. I didn't take it because I had this feeling I'm going to get well. And let me tell you, after 3 weeks, I knew I was getting better. So with that in mind, that's history now. 6 years later, I am completely symptomatic free, and I will never stop taking Protandim NRF2. So as Michelle said, my specialist area is manual lymphatic drainage. And these people, these women especially, also have huge issues with their hormones. And who better to share the knowledge than our gorgeous Sharan? Sharan spent 20 years in the corporate world before her health forced her to reevaluate her priorities. She now is a wife, a mother, and integrated women's health coach, specializing in menopause, weight loss, and natural anti-aging solutions. See, she is passionate about helping busy women who want to regain calm and be in control, so they no longer struggle with feeling run down, burnt out, exhausted, overwhelmed, tired, can't sleep, all those kind of things. So Sharan, we love to hear your pearls of wisdom. Welcome.
Hello, Margie. Hello, Michelle. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me back again.
So it is my great pleasure to start the ball rolling, because we want to ask you a couple of questions. So I think I'm going to start with this question, if I may. How can I manage hot flushes and night sweats naturally?
Well, as you can see there, these things are caused by our estrogen fluctuating. So what that does is it disrupts the body's internal thermostat, which is kind of controlled by your hypothalamus. And one of the things I will mention here is I would also say that women in their 40s, I would highly recommend they go and get their thyroids thoroughly checked out, because your thyroid can also play a role in your thermoregulation within your own body sort of temperatures. And so when those estrogen levels are fluctuating, your body is very reactive to temperature changes. So you can have, that feeling like you're suddenly standing in the middle of the Sahara, you've got sweat dripping down from your hairline, you're running into the freezer section and opening the doors trying to cool down. And this is caused by many things. It is also caused by cortisol, which you've heard me mention before, blood sugar, which you've heard me talk about before, and poor sleep can make them a lot worse. So things you can do naturally is obviously get your stress under control. However, whatever that looks like to you, whether it's the deep breathing, walking in nature, having probably not necessarily a hot bath, but a lovely bubble bath, doing things that get your stress under control. One of the things I found is my hot flashes were horrendous. My night sweats were just a thing of almost legend. I would wake up in my own personal swamp almost every single night. I was changing my sheets almost every single day. It was horrendous. So I learned to dress in layers, in breathable fabrics, because if you start feeling that flush, it's quite easy just to start chucking off a couple of layers. I also used to, if you think about the extremities, your hands, your head, your feet, oftentimes I'd be kicking off my shoes and standing on bare tiles or cold floors or whatever, which would help. Bed, if you can, natural fabrics, layered in your bed as well. So again, you can move layers off you and onto your partner, and even, a fan can help. Natural things that can also help: magnesium and B6 help. And ashwagandha is really great. So Margie, you mentioned Protandim. Ashwagandha is one of the beautiful adaptogens. So an adaptogen is a product or a natural plant that helps your body deal with stress. So Protandim would work beautifully in this one. And as I said, cortisol and move your body. Moving your body is also really good to help you deal with your stress. So I hope those were some ideas. As you can see, they're also caffeine, alcohol, and sugar. So learn your own triggers, learn what's going to set you off, and then either don't have them or just reduce what you're having. I hope that answered some questions.
Sharon, can I ask you a quick follow-up there? Because those hot flushes that you said you have, I've never experienced that. But as you know, I had a total radical hysterectomy. Well, let me tell you, at my very young age of 72, I am having a hot flushes. Is that the same thing?
Yes, darling. Yes. Because your body's, even though I would have thought by your very young age, have already been well and truly post-menopause.
I would have thought so.
Yes, your adrenal glands then generally take over production of estrogen after your ovaries have stopped. So possibly because it was such a radical hysterectomy, and I'm assuming everything's gone, it's a temporary readjustment for your body.
Oh, good. Thank you. Well, I have another question for you. Yep. So many women complain about brain fog and mood swings. So what can you tell us about that?
So many things. I think what women really need to understand is the incredible role that estrogen plays across our body. It's not just about the reproductive side of it, but estrogen has a hugely protective role right across our body. There are estrogen receptors everywhere. And oddly enough, a lot of women in their 50s and 60s often suddenly find themselves having respiratory issues because estrogen also plays a role in the health of your lungs, surprisingly. Anyway, so estrogen and your brain are like BFFs. And when estrogen starts fluctuating, your brain kind of freaks out a little bit. And also too, when we're starting into perimenopause, it's also going to change our microbiome. And as you know, there's a great, let's just say texting, chatting between the microbiome and your brain. So if your microbiome's getting slightly disrupted and your brain's freaking out because estrogen's left the building, that messaging chat going up and down is going to start getting confused. Also too, again, oddly enough, being chronically stressed, so having high cortisol. Goodness, those blood sugar swings there, I mentioned those before. And again, poor sleep. All of these things come into play with brain fog and mood swings. So think about things like prioritizing your protein, omega-3s, fish oils. Your brain loves fish oils. B6s, and all the B vitamins for your mental clarity. So this one here, I would say for anybody who's struggling with this, our Axio is absolutely brilliant for getting that clarity back, for supporting your brain when it's freaking out. Work on your circadian rhythm for your sleep. First thing in the morning, as soon as you can, if you can, get yourself outside and get some sun on your face. Stand there for 10 minutes and just breathe it in. Let the sun get onto your face. Again, moving your body, it's going to boost that dopamine, it's going to boost that serotonin, which will help with your emotional balance. Sleep, find a nighttime routine, find ways to get some good quality sleep. And, again, lower those stress hormones. So the brain fog doesn't stay around forever, and it certainly is something that you can manage.
Awesome. There were lots of pearls of wisdom there.
Thank you.
Now, the question is, why am I waking up at 3 a.m. every night? And that's so many of us.
Oh, I know. I remember this. And it's that sudden wake up and it's like, oh my God, I'm awake. And there's nothing you can do to go back to sleep. So here, again, hormones, stress. And another one that comes into play here, which also needs some focus, is your liver. A little liver love will go a long way to helping reduce those 3 a.m. wake ups, because if your liver is a fatty liver, or if it's really congestive, if it's not functioning properly, that can also lead into this 3 a.m. wake up. In fact, that's what I heard many, many years ago from Dr. Libby Weaver when I first got into wellness. And that was something that she talked about, liver health in particular, in relation to rushing women's syndrome. And one of the things she talked about was, if you're waking up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, look to your liver. But it's also our dear friend estrogen, our dear friend cortisol, and melatonin. So if we're chronically stressed, our cortisol will go later into the night and our melatonin will drop. Sometimes your cortisol can spike early, which will cause that 3 a.m. wake up. Also, again, getting back to your liver, your blood sugar, gosh, where have I mentioned that one before? Any blood sugar dips that you have can also cause your liver to go, oh, wake up. So first things, let's balance our blood sugar. So protein-rich foods. Sometimes even having a protein-rich snack before you go to bed can help balance out that blood sugar and minimize any wake-up crashes. Stress management, get your cortisol down well before you go to bed. Deep breathing, magnesium, journaling, build in a lovely nighttime ritual. I mean, I signal it to my body when I go to wash my face. I have a whole routine. I have gratitude for my day. I think about all the good things that happened. And then for me, I read. Reading is kind of what sets me up to sleep. As I said, morning sunlight. Keep your bedroom cool if you can. Will also help with the night sweats. And please leave the wine, leave the caffeine, leave those alone. If you're struggling with waking up at 3 a.m., just keep a journal and see. With all of these things, the more you can do to find out how your body works and what triggers your body, the better you're able to manage all of these symptoms. And that's what they are.
Some huge tips there for us. Thanks, Sharon. A last question. Why is my libido decreasing and what can I do about it?
Well, yes, this is something. And I will stick my hand up here, everyone, and say, I have dealt with all of these. I have struggled with all of these. I am talking here from my education and training, but also from my personal experience. And if you think about it, generally, if we take you back to pre-modern age, once a woman hit menopause, which way back then was usually in her 40s, she was no longer obviously childbearing. So her estrogen dipped, everything else dipped, walked out, left the building. There is no need for her to have that drive to procreate. Back then, as in now, our testosterone, our estrogen, and our progesterone all decline. And all of this can lead to your libido kind of going a little bit. Plus, you add in the 3 a.m. wake-ups, so you're not getting much sleep, the night sweats, so you're not getting much sleep. Also, hello, estrogen again, the vaginal dryness, which is a real issue and it's not fun. So things you can do is, again, healthy fats, healthy proteins, and also get your muscles working. This will help boost the testosterone side of things, because even though we're not into being, muscle men, we don't need it for things that men need it for, women do still need testosterone. So the vaginal dryness, that is really a matter of finding something that works for you. You can find some really good lubricants and vaginal moisturizers, which can be a bit of a game changer while you're in that, because perimenopause is a period of transition. So things are going to move, things are going to change, things are going to fluctuate. So finding what works for you during that transition will help make life. And obviously, communication with your partner, always. It's absolutely key. Prioritize your rest and relaxation, because if you're not feeling that great, if you're not feeling like you've got a lot of energy, it's really hard when your hubby comes up and goes, hey, baby, to go, yeah, let's go. It's more like, yeah, you can go. So self-care is huge, especially in this period of menopause. And having that close connection with your partner, there are other ways. And understand that quite possibly what will happen is your sex drive, which, you might have been at it like jackrabbits when you were younger. That's going to change your sexual cues, shall we say. The way your libido works may change. It may not be a case of, you see your husband naked and, yeah, baby, I'm in. It may take more intimacy, more close connection, more things like that, setting the mood, that kind of thing. And again, moving your body, it helps boost your confidence, because if you feel good about you, then getting into the mood is a little bit easier. So your libido's still there. It just might need a little bit of love and TLC.
Sharon, that was amazing. Thank you. Over to you, Michelle.
So, as you know, we are trying to highlight for women what the symptoms are that most of us experience during perimenopause and menopause, and highlight the information that a lot of people don't know. And one of those things is oxidative stress. Now, oxidative stress is something that every single person on the planet experiences. It is when a free radical, basically, we have thousands and millions of them hit us on a daily basis, and they then deteriorate us on a cellular level. So if you can imagine taking a bite out of an apple and you put it down on a table and it starts going brown, that is what free radicals do to our cells on a cellular level. So oxidative stress can be caused by alcohol, pollution, the air that we breathe, the food that we eat, lack of exercise, stress, you name it. There are millions of different things that can cause oxidative stress. And it is one of the biggest reasons why we age. It's probably the main reason why we age. It does cause over 200 illnesses and diseases, and it can play a huge role in menopause and perimenopause. So this is how oxidative stress impacts it, if we wanted to link it back to that. So if you want to take a screenshot of that slide, that would be great. But it heightens stress response and temperature dysregulation, obviously disrupts neurotransmitters, so you get that mood swing, anxiety, stress, brain fog. Like Sharon said, the melatonin production is reduced and your circadian rhythm is messed up. Decreased libido, which is a huge thing for women as we get older, because we still have a partner who has obviously not experienced what we have. A lot of time don't understand it. So besides communication, we need to put into place things that can help in those areas, and understanding how we can deal with those things when it comes to oxidative stress. And one of the biggest ones also for women is that meno belly that all of us get, that nice little tire that ends up around our tummies, and that doesn't obviously help with our moods and the way that we feel about ourselves. So weight gain is a huge thing, and all of these things are impacted by oxidative stress. Right, LifeVantage is the company that we deal with, and all the products that we will be talking about are all natural products that can help with a lot of these. Obviously, we do not claim to mitigate, cure, or prevent disease or anything like that, but we have a lot of testimonials out there, and feel free to reach out to the person who invited you and they can share that with you. So we are the activation company. It all started over 20 plus years ago, where Protandim NRF2, which is our flagship product, was sold in pharmacies and general stores, and made a claim that it can reduce oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days. So ABC Primetime went and did a investigative report on the product itself, met with Dr. Joe, and they did blood tests, and it so happens that it is actually a product that works. It is a product that can claim to do just what it says it does, and we have just grown from strength to strength and added a whole lot of products since then. These products deal with everything on a cellular level, so it's not like a supplement. It's not just going to patch up or repair anything. It is going to deal with your cells. So yes, our slogan is, we take it to make it. So you take our product and it helps your body make things that you need. So like with Protandim, what it does is it increases our antioxidant production. You couldn't take enough antioxidant supplements to do what Protandim does. Right, so our key LifeVantage products for perimenopause and menopause are, and if we go.
Well, in a lot of ways, all of them would work beautifully, but the Trisynergizer is one of my favorites because, as you heard, it reduces oxidative stress, which helps in so many ways. The mitochondria, our little energy, it converts in our cells, it converts the food we eat into energy, so that fatigue can be greatly helped by actually having more energy produced in your body. And the SRT, which helps to regulate your stress response. It works beautifully with the Protandim NRF1 and NRF2. And the three of them together are an absolute powerhouse, really, when it comes to general health, but also in the menopause setting.
This is your favorite one?
Yes, this is my favorite one because, as I've mentioned earlier, in menopause or in perimenopause, your gut microbiome starts to change. So supporting that with this probiotic, which is a beautiful one. It's actually one that got me excited and looking into the company. It's got a great range of strains to it. And the NRF1 and the NRF2, again, boosting your mitochondria and reducing oxidative stress. And the three of them working together, again, another, if you can, dynamo when it comes to menopause. The Healthy Glow Stack is another one of my favorites. It's so hard to choose. One of the things that starts declining from about actually our late 20s and early 30s, but it speeds up during menopause, is collagen. And collagen is the glue that holds us together. So hair falling out, skin getting all dry and saggy baggy. This collagen is beautiful. It covers 10 different peptides. So you've got more than just skin and nails. It's bone, it's brain, it's eyes, it's across your body, helping you look and feel beautiful. And of course, when you pair it with the NRF2, it actually amplifies both products to the next level.
Question on that. So with regards to libido, and we're talking about vaginal dryness, would this help with that?
Given that the vagina is in itself a muscle, yes. So improving the health of the connective tissues, the muscle in your vagina, when you added it to all of the other things, will certainly help, yes.
That's what I was thinking.
And as I mentioned, again, this is another one. I have one almost every single day. That brain fog, the mood swings, the feeling, this Axio is just, it takes you to the next level. It actually gives you that focus. And I find that when your brain is activated, when you've got that clarity and that focus, the body just kind of follows suit.
Yeah, I think you mentioned last week about, I think it had something to do with cortisol and how this helps with stress levels. Or I think it was the vitamin B. I can't remember exactly what it was.
There are things called heat shock proteins, which are activated with your cortisol. So what it does is the Axio, the asparagus extract, I think it is, in the Axio helps lessen that impact. So it helps to regulate your cortisol. Plus you've got the magnesium, which I mentioned earlier in relation to the night sweats, plus all the beautiful B vitamins in it.
Yeah, because I definitely notice when I don't have Axio, the difference in my mental clarity and just my whole feeling on that. Yeah, this is one of the things that I cannot go without. And then we're launching a new product and we are activating something else that everyone needs, not only us.
So the Mind Body GLP-1 is the product we really are excited about. And you heard what was said about the weight gain and the belly fat. This product is completely natural. And the three things, it helps regulate the blood sugar. And by doing that, cravings and energy, metabolism really work together. But it also regulates insulin. And when those are in order, you don't have that hunger feeling. And it happens almost in 24 hours. So you don't have those cravings. And when people spoke about food noise, I wasn't really sure what that was until I started the product and I didn't have the food noise. When I filled up with petrol, I'd have this little voice in my head saying, I have that packet of chips, or what about that chocolate? I mean, that just disappeared. And when I went into the shop to get something, I would just walk towards that terrible biscuit aisle and I'd just automatically take a Tim Tam because of the food noise. You want that Tim Tam, you must have that Tim Tam. And what often used to happen is I'd sit in the car, I'd eat the Tim Tam one after the other in the car. How disgusting was that? So that was the food noise combined with the cravings. So I can tell you, I've been on the product for 3 months now. That's history. And I've lost 8.2 kilos. So I'm excited about it.
This is just our take it to make it.
Yeah, it's really important that with the mind-body system, because when we say the mind-body, it's the mind and the gut. That axis is switched on as the GLP-1 is activated. So it's not, when we say you take it, we're taking the mind-body system, that's the 2 capsules in the morning and the powder, 4 scoops. With a new one, the international, that's going to be launched, it'll be 2 scoops, not 4, because the formula is slightly different. And the international formula we hear is exceptional. We can't say any more than that at the moment. But when you take that, what it does, it actually slows down the way the food is digested through the tract, all the way into the belly, all the way into the colon. So what you eat, a maximum absorption of nutrients, but you don't get that hungry feeling at all. And some people who have had issues with their gut, like diarrhea, squirting, constipation, all like mixed up together, it doesn't happen. It's like clockwork. On my watch, you wake up, 20 minutes, plop, down it goes. Maybe 10 minutes later, a second one, and I'm done for the day. It's just automatic, gentle, and normal. And people have forgotten what normal feels like until they take the mind-body system.
But if I might just jump in here, Margie, I hope you don't mind.
No.
But you may have, if you remember, when it came to the night sweats and the hot flashes, one of the things I mentioned was blood sugar regulation. The 3 a.m. wake-ups was blood sugar regulation. The libido, I think there was blood sugar in there. And the other question was, again, I mentioned blood sugar. So the beautiful thing about the GLP-1 is it helps you to regulate your blood sugar. And often this is behind a lot of the weight that we put on when we come into perimenopause. Perimenopause, our blood sugar regulation, kind of like everything else, it gets a bit topsy-turvy. So again, this is another one I'd say is a beautiful one to add in to your toolkit when you come to perimenopause.
Absolutely.
Obesity has become a huge problem across the world, but obviously in this situation, we're just going to talk about New Zealand and Australia, and approximately 34% of New Zealand adults are classified as obese. They don't have the number of the, younger than 18, but 1.7 million adults. That's a huge amount of people. And that's not even close to the 13 million adults in Australia. So if we're talking about people looking to lose weight, and not only just around menopause, but just in general because of the food that is on, that is available and that is the quickest to eat because we've got such busy lives. So a lot of people are looking for this product. This is a GLP-1 activation product. It is the only activation product that helps your body naturally heal and naturally start producing GLP-1 again. And I know from my experience, I've been on the product going on 4 months now, and after many, many years of abusing my body, I am starting to now see my weight dropping. Before, I was losing lots of centimeters. I've always had a huge belly. People have always asked me if I'm pregnant. It has been one of those things where I wear very baggy clothes and try to hide because of it. And I actually went out this weekend with a dress on that really, I don't have a belly anymore. It is absolutely fantastic. And I am just so grateful for this product, for what it's given me. Just the confidence and just feeling like myself again. So, yeah.
So in the trials that were done in the US, these are massive figures. There were 56 that completed the trial of 12 weeks, 140% increase in GLP-1 on average, which is massive. From as we age, the production of GLP-1 gets less and less and less. And this is naturally increased. In the US, the average was 9 pounds in 8 weeks and 25 pounds in 12 weeks. And I think a phenomenal figure is 100% lost. When they say weight, they lost fat and they maintained muscle. In fact, what's actually happening, they're losing fat and they're putting on muscle, so that looks like they've lost less weight because muscle is heavier than fat. So it's fantastic that no muscle loss, which is what we can say about the alternative pharmaceutical opportunities or options. There you lose 2/3 muscle. We do not want that. Up to 27% reduction in visceral fat. That's the dangerous one around the organs. And of course, there's a patent pending on this amazing product. So these are also statistics that came out of that trial. 82% took back control of their relationship with food. I'm in that 82%. 95% reduced sugar cravings. That was almost everybody, and that includes me too. Smaller portions. I can definitely say within the 3rd week of being on the product, there was just an automatic reduction of the size that you eat, because you don't feel you can eat such a huge portion because you're not that hungry. 85% felt less hungry, and that I still feel like that. And 90% ate less at meal times, which is the same kind of thing. And 85% now eat for health instead of emotions. Now, emotional eating, that was that sitting in the car eating the Tim Tams. I don't do that anymore. And I actually now plan. I look forward to planning what my protein is going to be with my vegetables, because I know how important 30 grams of protein is per meal. So there we have some great examples. We all want to look like that and lose that. That's a fabulous one too.
All right. Well, then I am going to close it off for this evening. Thank you all for joining us and giving us your time, because we know how valuable it is. And if you are interested in any of the products, please reach out to the person who invites you this. We look forward to supporting you wherever you need it. Thanks so much, everyone.
Awesome.